For several years, hundreds of students in Boston have been getting summer jobs and leadership development through the MLK Scholars program. The program, sponsored by John Hancock with participation from several partners. To tell us about the program and the expansion of its financial literacy component is the head of the program for John Hancock, Annie Duong-Turner. Thank you very much for being with us, Annie.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, people, they see the news stories about this program, they see the kickoff at BU, they hear about John Hancock, but where do these young people actually work?
So the way the program works is John Hancock runs this program in partnership with the City of Boston, Boston University, the Boston Globe, and Partners Healthcare. And we provide funding of over $1 million annually, direct grants to over 66 nonprofit organizations, who then recruit and hire Boston teens from their communities. This year, we're fortunate to have over 650 scholars working at 66 nonprofits, and they work approximately 20 to 25 hours per week and attend a series of leadership development workshops called Leadership Forums at the Gannis Arena. And they also complete an online financial literacy training through EverFi.
I can imagine some of these students working at nonprofits that are involved in youth development. Maybe they're counselors, but I see other nonprofits like Artists for Humanity. So It looks as if you cater to different kinds of strong suits with these students.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The way that our program works is we tell our nonprofits, you have the funding, you have the ability to recruit and hire youth of your own choosing, provided that they're City of Boston residents between 16 to 18, and they have shown leadership capacity, opportunities, or leadership capacity in their organizations or communities. Like you said, they do a variety of tasks depending on the organizations. However, what a lot of our students have in common, aside from the leadership capacity, is that they're helping the organizations further their missions in their roles.
Now, one thing I'm used to seeing year after year, but we shouldn't take it for granted, is that you've got students at these events at BU, for example, and some of the meetings later during the summer. They're from all different backgrounds and parts of the city. Why is that so important to get them together like that?
Well, I think having students sit and work with students from other communities that they may not necessarily go to on a daily basis is important because it breaks down cultural and neighborhood barriers, and it really helps our scholars become more prepared to work with other people, whether it's in an office or at work, who are from various different backgrounds.
Now, speaking of backgrounds, in your background, you were an MLK Scholar. What did you do?
Yeah, so I was an MLK Scholar in 2010, and now I manage a program. So it's been an interesting turn of events for me. In addition to funding the MLK Scholar positions at the nonprofits, we also employ just about 20 MLK Scholars at John Hancock in our offices. So I interned with our HR department for a few years, and I stayed on as a college intern. And during that time, my manager was a really a strong mentor and sponsor for me. And I shared with her during my last undergrad years that I was really interested in going into community relations. So she advocated for me and somehow managed to get me an internship with the corporate responsibility team where I am today.
Now, I'm trying to think, if you're a teenager growing up in the city and someone says, would you like to work in human resources with a financial services company? I think a teenager might say, I don't know. I mean, how did you feel when you started?
Honestly, my boss, my current boss, he's the one who interviewed me for my first MLK Scholar position. And I told him, I'm just looking to get an opportunity to learn and become exposed to what's out there in the city. And I know that at the very least, I would walk away with having obtained some skills that I can take with me wherever I go. And that, little did I know that I ended up with a job, with a full-time job after graduation. But I think that rings true for a lot of our scholars. And that's the purpose of the MLK Scholars program. It exposes our youth to the opportunities that are available in the city, and it really helps empower them to set their own goals and work towards them for their future.
Now, another thing I would guess about the students in this program, if they don't come from financially disadvantaged families, they're going to become financially disadvantaged after they get out of college because they have to pay back their loans. So does that have something to do with the financial literacy component?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as a financial services company, we're conscious about setting up Boston youth and other people that we serve to have the right information to enable them to make decisions easier and their lives better later on. So that's why we signed on with a partnership with EverFi. And we've been doing EverFi for MLK Scholars for the past 4 years, offering them a financial literacy curriculum that's online and totally mobile friendly and accessible. And that curriculum covers basic financial education topics such as what's the difference between credit card versus debit card, how to start saving for college, what are taxes. And this year, we have partnered with EverFi to expand access to that financial literacy curriculum to Boston students who are employed by other summer jobs providers in the city. And this is a commitment that we've made for the next 3 years. And we're working closely with the City of Boston and other summer jobs providers to help provide that EverFi financial literacy access to other Boston students.
Now, the other end of the equation here is what the partners, including John Hancock, get out of this. So why do they support this program?
Well, for us, I think we see this as very much a shared value. Obviously, the students get increased work readiness and job readiness skills, and an increased sense of belonging in their community by interacting with students from all around the city. The nonprofits will get increased capacity building and support for their youth programs, which furthers their missions and in turn helps develop and strengthen the community that we do business in. And of course, local businesses will get access to a diverse, a local diverse representative pipeline right in the city of Boston. And that component, especially for John Hancock, having a diverse talent pipeline is critical when we make decisions. We need individuals from across all different backgrounds, and the MLK Scholars program will help scholars open their eyes to whatever opportunities are available and enable them to pursue them later on.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Duong-Turner from John Hancock.